Hi. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Schultz, and I am running for governor. I'm a lawyer. As far as why I'm doing this, my whole life I've cared about helping people, and I know that this is the best way I can do that. And as governor, I could easily pardon millions of people and free tens of thousands of people who have been convicted of victimless crimes. And that means drug use, even drug possession, even drug sales. And you can say, oh my God, you want to not bust somebody who's selling drugs? And it's like, look, if somebody says that they're selling somebody cocaine and they're selling them fentanyl and then somebody dies, then that's a problem. But if they say they're selling them cocaine and they give them good cocaine and then somebody dies, then that's more their own choice. You don't have to blame the dealer, you can blame the person for getting the cocaine. But my point is, by legalizing it, then at least that would cut down on almost all street sales anyway, day one, because people would start buying them at CVS, stuff like that. It'll cut down on almost all crime that we have, because so much of our crime is related to drug prices being so high and people not having other options for work. Now, as far as the lockdowns, I'm very anti-lockdown. I did go along with it for a few hours, but then I got an email. I actually started advocating it a few hours before the local mayor did the lockdown, and then he did this lockdown, and then I immediately got an email from a live music venue I had been to only once or twice, saying we're laying off all of our help, and please donate to help them survive, and please buy our merchandise to help us survive. And I knew that this was going to be millions and millions and tens of millions of people unemployed. And I knew that we had to fight COVID, like I had been saying all along, without lockdowns, without any social distancing, without any mask requirements, anything. From day one, what I was advocating, which has been now proved to be true, is that the best way to prevent serious illness by COVID, or death by COVID certainly, and certainly the best way to reverse long COVID or to prevent long COVID, is to live a very healthy lifestyle and to eat healthy. Now you can say, and to exercise. Now, but the main problem, the main issue out of all those, like you say, what do you mean eat healthy? What does that mean? Who knows what that means? They used to say that meant bread. They used to say that meant no fat. Now they say that means no bread. And people were eating tons of bread when they said it was no fat. And they thought they were being healthy and they weren't. Well, that's true. And yes, you want to get off of the carbs. And the carbs are a problem. But the biggest problem of all, even bigger than carbs and refined carbs, it looks like, is the sugar. There's sugar, added sugar, not fruit, not fruit. Fruit is okay because it has fiber in it, although certainly if you're diabetic, it's a problem. But added sugar, which includes agave and honey and anything. Any added sugar. And the average American adult consumes 25 teaspoons a day. The average American child consumes 35 teaspoons a day, and the maximum safe amount is 5 teaspoons a day. So that's why all America has had such a horrible reaction to COVID, and also to a much lesser extent to the vaccine even, is because and I do advocate getting vaccinated. I am vaccinated and then boosted. I got the Johnson & Johnson, and right before they took it off the market, I got it the day before they took it off the market. And then I got, Moderna boost before that was legal even. So I got it, however, and I do advocate that. However, I also I don't believe in mandating it, and even masks I wouldn't mandate, because now N95 masks are readily available. So anybody who believes that they're in danger of when they get COVID can protect themselves by wearing a mask. Now, I said when you get COVID, because I believe that I've said from the beginning, they said we're gonna stamp out COVID. I was like, no, you're not. You're either gonna have COVID and poverty or COVID. But you're not getting rid of COVID. All you're going to do with these lockdowns is make people poor. And all these politicians like Gavin Newsom, who I'm running against, these were millionaires, multi-millionaires. He's a multi-millionaire. He's backed by billionaires. He has $50 million in his campaign fund. I have zero in my campaign fund and almost zero in the bank right now. This is not, those people who made those rules were people who could afford to not work for a year or 2 years or the rest of their lives. And Gavin Newsom and all these politicians also, remember, well, we're getting a huge salary from the state. If I win this governorship, not only will I never have lockdowns and never have mandates for masks or business capacities for businesses or lockdowns or any of that, although I will have free masks available for anybody who wants them. We'll have free N95 masks. That we will have and should have. But I was about to tell you, what I will do is I will take as a salary what the smallest amount that somebody earns to pay taxes, because I don't feel that I should be earning any more than somebody who pays taxes. When people who pay taxes, you start paying taxes at $15,000 approximately. So, if you're earning $15,000 a year, I don't have to tell you that's barely enough to survive. Well, with rent, it's not enough it's very difficult to survive on that amount of money, yet you still have to pay taxes. It's outrageous. And this Newsom lives in the mansion. If I win, we have hundreds of thousands of homeless people in this state. They say that there's 500,000 homeless people in the whole country. Bullshit. I believe we have millions of homeless people in the country and maybe even millions in this state. And I just don't feel it's right for the governor to be living in a mansion when we have people sleeping in the street in this state. That's not right. So I will sleep in a tent, and if I win, and we'll move homeless people into the mansion. That is the plan. That is definitely my plan. And we'll certainly help them get jobs. I believe and then on the other thing I want to do is have free trailers for all the homeless people. I think we could do that for very cheap. They don't have to be $100,000 trailers. I mean, we could build a trailer for $5,000, I'm sure. We're just primitive with wheels, with electricity, and small, and a towing hitch attached, and lights on the back, but no toilet, just a built-in toilet that you use a hefty bag, because you don't want to have people driving around with all this sloshing around, refuse in the bottom of the trailer, and then have to go and empty it somewhere, and lines of people waiting for hours to empty this stinky. No, we don't need that. I think we should just have hefty bags, and I admit that it's a problem with the disposable plastic, and I do want to ban single-use plastic. I do. We might have to distribute aluminum cans. That would be even something that would work. Cans that go in the bottom of the portable toilets. But we don't need real toilets. And I do believe in a plastic ban. I do believe in a disposable plastic ban. And I also deeply believe, what is it over?
No.
I also deeply believe we should have a wealth tax, and that means a wealth tax on the richest Californians. I've read that California has 1/4 of the nation's billionaires living here. So in this state, one quarter of the nation's billionaires, and probably, for that matter, if we add up the amounts, probably the most money of anyone. I mean, because it's probably the richest billionaires. So I believe, including Elon Musk. Oh no, he just moved to Texas. I'm sorry. I think he just moved to Texas, but not sure. But anyway, the point is, if we had a wealth tax on the wealthiest 1%, which is a net worth over about $10 million, puts people into the top 1%. So if we had a wealth tax on the top 1%, we could really fulfill all of our human rights. And that is very important to me, that we take care of all the human rights of everyone in this state, and if we can, in this country. By that, as I said, we could buy enough trailers, not just for everybody in this state, but for in this country. I mean, this state, I just did the research, spends about $7 billion a year on homeless services. And I believe the number of people they're, quote, servicing is about 70,000. So if you do the math, that's spending about $100,000 per homeless person per year. And they don't even give them a real private place to live. They have them living in these barracks like being in jail or in the army or something. And not only do you have no privacy, but it's dangerous now with COVID. And to be honest, we're never going to be done with COVID. Ever. I really believe that now. And there's no saying that it's going to weaken over time, although that would be nice. It might just get stronger over time. So I really deeply believe that we have to provide people for people's basic human rights. Now, that also includes providing either free or affordable organic food for everyone, and that probably means the state getting involved with growing it somehow, because even in these robot-controlled containers that could be used to grow organic produce, and we have to distribute. And then the other things to take to protect yourself from COVID besides produce is fish oil or wild fish, and vitamin D, about 1,000 IU a day, 500 to 1,000 probably, and vitamin C, probably 10 times the normal advised limit, which those huge vitamin C pills have, about 10 times the normal daily recommended. But those are the main things that you should be doing. Oh, and CoQ10. But and of course we should provide all these things, and free masks to people, as I said, free N95 masks. But we should also have free college for people. Free when I say free college, I do mean of everybody in the state, and I do mean public and private, and I also mean that if we can crunch the numbers and we have enough money after taxing the billionaires, that we could then have free college for we as Californians could pay for free college for everyone in the country, even, which would be nice. I mean, and we should also be able to forgive all student loans of everyone in the state, and ideally of everyone in the country. I mean, we have to crunch the numbers, but just say we could have like 3% on a tax on net worth over like 10 million, 5% over like 100 million, 7% over like 200 million, and 10% over like 500 million, and I don't know, 18% or something over 15, 18% over $1 billion. And you're talking big money, and it's no skin off these people's back. I mean, first of all, many of these billionaires' net worth goes up more than 15% every year. Some of them double or triple it every year. Second of all, as things stand, when you push, just think of it this way. Even a basic income would be great. Even guaranteed jobs would be great. And not just great, important. But think of it this way. I mean, say basic income, I guess we could start, I'm thinking around 10,000 right now would be great to start, but that's not enough to live on, though, so we're going to have to figure that out. We also, but then you have the trailers and the free food. The point is, what would be great about all of this is the economy would explode. I mean, because think about it. What's the first? If somebody's rich and they earn and they get $10,000, what do? They put it in the bank. It does nobody any good. If somebody's poor and they get $10,000, they have to spend it. So they spend it, and then that is immediately pumped into the economy, and the economy explodes. So for those are my general ideas. But as far as the legalizing drugs thing, we'd also legalize prostitution and gambling. I mean, and you can say, oh well, you don't want people pushed into being prostitutes. I totally agree, but they should be allowed to if they want to. But you have a basic income, so nobody is pushed into it. And we can certainly help people find or even give everybody jobs. I mean, just alone, when I walk up and when I jog and exercise on the beach, I see tiny pieces of plastic everywhere in nature, everywhere on a city street. There's tiny little garbage everywhere. And we could pay people to walk around and picking up all this stuff. There's a million little projects that people, we need free health care, we need free child care. And as I said, college, public and private. And even grad school, even med school, even law school would be great, and then we could have some public service in return would be nice for a year or two. But okay, that's the general idea. Check out the campaign. It's at #Fred4CA at Twitter, and on TikTok it's at @Fred4CA with a 4. And then soon, hopefully by tonight or tomorrow night, I'll have a website done, which is fred4ca.com. And please tell your friends and help me make these videos viral, and maybe even when I'll post a link to buy a cap or to buy a sticker, or at the very least just tell your friends, please. And even just start going door to door, or if you could write it on the chalkboard in classroom. If you're in college, you could write it on the chalkboard before kids show up to class. #Fred4CA or Fred Schultz for governor. Chalk on the board before the kids arrive at the classroom, something like that. And it's free, and you tell everybody. And tell your friends, please. And please vote for me. The ballots go out in about 3.5 weeks, and the in-person voting is on June 7th. And then the big election, and then the top 2 people who win make it through the primary, and then we get to take out Newsom and all those Trumpy, horrible people in November. And oh, one more thing. Yes, I deeply believe in our rights to do to our own bodies as we wish, and that includes a woman's right to do to her own body as she wishes. Until the baby is born, it's not a baby. So if a woman wants an abortion, even in the 3rd trimester, we'll figure out a way to make that happen. We won't let federal troops come in, arrest her or the doctor or anything like that. Now, there was one other thing I forgot I was going to say. Our bodies, our rights. Oh, I believe deeply in our privacy rights. And the main thing that they use the internet to spy on us. They allow companies to track us looking at other websites. The government tracks us wherever we go on websites. We can't allow this. We have 4th Amendment rights to privacy and no search without a warrant, and these are literally warrantless searches. And of course the main excuse besides just the internet is the war on drugs. Oh, there's also the war on terrorism they use, but the war on drugs. And that war on drugs is the main excuse. Look it up, the Hemisphere Project. They have a far larger database of our phone calls and texts than
YouTube channel. You're just doing everything.
Thank you.
You gotta rein it in.
Okay, they're telling me I'm talking too long, but I want to end all spying on us, and that means immediately. And if we do that here in California, immediately they'll have to meet our standards on spying, so the whole world won't have any more spying on the internet. Okay, love you all. Find me and please vote for me, Frederick Schultz, Schultz. Okay, and love you all. Thank you so much. We got this. Woo!